One thing I knew that I wanted to do, and that's maybe a bit nerdy, but to change the European emission trading system, so the cost on CO2 in general. I didn't expect to get elected, so I don't think I necessarily realized until I was in it. And when I stand there, sometimes I'm a bit like, oh my God, is this really real? We're in Strasbourg in France, and we're here once a month, and this is where we vote on everything. It's kind of like going to Hogwarts, like all of us go together in this train and we see each other much more when we're in Strasbourg. The biggest difference between Hogwarts and then the European Parliament in Strasbourg is that we actually do legislation here, not just magic words. Og gennemgå, hvad vi har gjort. Processer stemmelister igennem, hvis der er nogen spørgsmål. The European Parliament is the most progressive institution you can find when you compare it to the European Commission or the national member states. So we are really a driver for change, I would say. Then on the important article of people with more than 250, it should be each year. Responsibilities they have and also which possibilities. The political highlights of our areas, I can also speak a bit about that. Looking at Paris climate law, I think the target is insufficient, and looking at the different ways to achieve it, it's also insufficient. Like everything would be like a D or a C if you had to grade it. So it's good and it's okay, but it's not like an A+. Well, I think the most important thing is that we get a price on CO2. CO2 costs, so it also needs to cost money for the polluters. Ensuring that our energy mix is green, so switching from coal to solar energy is an important step. And then our whole agricultural sector and our food production, making sure that we don't tear down the Amazons in order to feed the pigs in Denmark, for one example. So changing what we eat and also the way we produce food. And then I would say the whole consumer economy, so changing our iPhone every 3 years, buying new things all the time, having a more sustainable consumer behavior. The fifth thing is ensuring that we have green transport, making sure that we have a transport system in Europe that's green and that works beyond borders. I think that's going to be a huge step. It's the fear of not achieving the climate goals, having to see millions of people fleeing their country, not being able to feed themselves, mass extinction. So the whole typical thing that we're discussing when we discuss the climate catastrophe. So that's what's keeping me up. And then the fear of not having a political system that delivers in time, when we know that we have the possibilities to do so. That would be so shameful. Godmorgen, man.
Godmorgen.
I can see that people are willing to go quite far for like fixing climate change, and I would like to send that message to the leaders of Europe.
I think that there are a lot of countries and a lot of leaders that are trying to deliberately slow down this process because they're fearful of their constituents or their voters. But I think they should be more fearful for the future of Europe rather than fearful of how the present is.
I think the aim should be to show the path to reaching the Paris Agreement. So having a plan for how to transition our energy system and our countries and our food production in general, because we know what we can do and what we should do. It's just about finding the political way. Er du blevet tilbudt en flyer henne hos det kan være. Vi har også bolsjer, hvis det var noget.